Happy Friday. Karen O'Neill from United Way coming at you with our regular 3 p.m. talk. So we're talking with you every day at 3 o'clock about what's happening in the community from Monday to Friday. I have on the line with me some really fantastic people. I'll start with Patty Peters, who's our Director of Resource Development here at United Way. Patty's really been spearheading a table of, along with our CEO, Steve Pratt, a table of investors. And so she's been having some great conversations in the community with, our community foundations, the municipality, all kinds of philanthropists, bringing them together. And what we're doing at those tables is we're bringing all the needs of the not-for-profit groups that are working with our most vulnerable populations. So thanks for joining me, Patty. Today we're talking about how local businesses are supporting nonprofits doing this work, specifically today with the homeless community. So I've got Trevor Mayu on the line. He's from Maple City Homes, and Jeff McLean, who's a sub-trade of Maple City Homes. Jeff is the owner of McLean Painting and Staining. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Patty. You've been working very closely with these two, and maybe you can kind of give them a little bit of an introduction.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Jeff. I know that you're both incredibly busy, and thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. We wanted to make sure that the rest of the community knows what a fantastic, I don't want to say quite corporate because I'm not sure you're corporate, but you're not a small business either. Definitely a fantastic supporter of the vulnerable here in our community, and you make use of United Way to do so. I guess where Karen mentioned the co-investor roundtable, we can talk about that in a minute because the connection to that was with one of Trevor's partners. But I do want to just go back. This is not the first time that Maple City Homes has done this. Let's go back to, I think, October, November of last year. And Jeff, you came through the door at Maple City Homes the one morning and said, hey, Christmas is coming. And what do you think let's do something for the community? Tell me about that.
Well, I just thought, Maple City Homes being a newer company, all the trades that have come together to work together with Maple City Homes. It's been a great experience, and we've been going strong. So with us building all these nice new homes, I thought, hey, what can we do to give back to the community since we're doing a good thing here for people that can afford these homes? So what else can we do? And that's when I brought that to Maple City's attention, and we came together and came up with something.
I remember part of that conversation, and one or two of the other partners. The partners of Maple City Home are Rob Nelson, Gilles Michaud, Trevor Mayu, of course, and Daryl Clark. Formerly, in the very beginning of Maple City Homes, Bruce Warwick was one of the partners, but he since stepped aside, I think, to retire properly, and now we have these four partners. And a couple of them were in the room, and I remember we had the conversation that the Reach Out to Chatham-Kent, so the Rock Mission, had just posted something in the newspaper about the need of the homeless folks that they serve meals to and provide blankets and clothing and so forth. And I remember the conversation we had as a group saying, here we are building brand new, beautiful homes. So is there a way that we can come together and help the homeless through the cold, dark winter months of the season that was ahead of us? Trevor, then it went to you. Tell me. I know what happened, but tell everybody what happened.
Well, like we said, Jeff came to us and had the idea. He was talking about possible toys for kids. There's a lot of other companies that do that, but because we build homes, there was a need for food. The homeless people have no shelter. We sometimes maybe take for granted that we get to go home to a nice warm home and have food, nice warm food that we have every night for supper or for breakfast, lunch, etc. These people have none of the basic necessities that we have on the street, and unfortunately they're not out there at their own will. Some of them have mental illnesses, some of them have maybe a drug addiction, which a lot of them, as people know, smokers and whatever, it can be a thing that's very hard to get over. But unfortunately, these people need food. They have no money. They have no other way. And we just felt that all these beautiful homes we're making, why can't we help the community out and see what we can do? So when we first started our first bout at Christmas time with Jeff's lead, sure enough, it was left up to me to get on the phone and see what I could drum up. And we had a goal of about $10,000 at Christmas time. We kept going, and to our surprise, when it was all said and done, we raised $18,000. And it took me, you know, I had it on my books for things to do for a couple of weeks, but you know what? I did it in about 3 days. So it was a pretty good turnover. And then more recently, we just did it again because one of my partners, Rob Nelson, as you talked about, sits on the round table, and there was a need again to help the food banks, and more importantly, who we've supported in the past with a rock that goes right out to where these people don't necessarily are able to get to these places to get the food. They go to them. And Rob just piped up and said, hey, we would like to commit to a $10,000 donation. So again, came to me, I made the phone calls to see with our team and the partners to see what we could come up with. And we were very proud to say that we beat that goal in 1 day. It was a 1-day drive, made some phone calls, and we were able to raise $13,000. I'm very proud to be part of this and part of the community, and excited to help out where we can. And I actually want to go out and help the Rock one day and go help them donate the food and give it to the people and see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, I was blown away to learn that you managed to muster that up through phone calls within 10 or 12 or 13 hours. But the other thing that I think I know, Trevor, because I've had great experiences being employed with Maple City Homes, with the partners there, with the trades, Jeff, with the rest of the group on our site super, the whole, it's a huge, big family all of its own. But you speak about, you know, making those phone calls to the sub trades and the partners and the extended family at Maple City Homes, and they were all just right in, right? And I think that speaks to the tremendous power of relationship, right? That connection, because you've been doing business with a lot of these sub trades and suppliers throughout Chatham-Kent for many years. You've been in construction for many years yourself, and it speaks to the importance of connection, right? So we know that it's what Rock is doing is they're going out there and providing more than food. They're connected. They speak about their friends going out to find their friends and taking them what they need. And you're sort of doing the same thing when you reach the other way for the financial support. You talk about the relationship, the connection, the friendships, the extended family. Hey, Jeff, so as one of the trades, like what's it like for you when you're working for this company, which I know is a great company, but yeah, you guys are out there on the street and you must talk amongst each other. What's it like for you guys out there on the street to be able to participate?
It's a great feeling. All the sub trades on the street, we all get along really well. I think everybody has been pretty excited to be a part of this opportunity as well. I'd made some phone calls, and everybody I had called, they were pretty excited to jump on board and be a part of it. I mean, everybody gets along really well on the street, and we all communicate together really well. So it's a great opportunity to be a part of, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I think at one point too, Trevor, we talked about back in the November and December campaign, we called it, was it home help for the homeless? And I think that you ended up meeting Al Baker, who is sort of the team leader of the group called Reach Out Chatham-Kent. What was that like for you to meet him and learn what it is that they're doing?
It was a very good experience, and I'm just gonna correct one quick thing, Al McGuigan.
Sure.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Home for the holidays.
Thank you.
And home for the holidays, right?
Yes.
Holidays, yes.
The holidays.
And it was the Rock, Reach Out Chatham-Kent. I learned a bit about them. I wanted to feel them out, find out what they did, when they started and everything. So I knew what I was talking to when I called the subs and different suppliers to generate income, the money to the cause. They're a new nonprofit. They started in August 2019. Any of the money that they used to feed the homeless and buy the food were self donations from themselves. They took some of their money that they had, and one of the members had a misfortune with his son in Manitoba. He shared with me, which is very touching, that he had a problem where he lost his life, and his dad, who now is part of it, forgave him and whatnot, and just remembered that these people need help. And they think that most of the community just forgot about them and doesn't care about them. What we're doing in the Rock is showing that we do care. We are getting them food and thinking about them, and don't just, think they're someone out on the street that's just looking for handouts. These people really would like to get back into society, and hopefully one day we can get them there. But in the meantime, we're showing them that we care, and we're trying to get the morale up and keep these donations going whenever possible to help them out and keep them fed.
Mm-hmm. Isn't all of this just the most amazing thing, Karen?
It is awesome. I was just thinking to myself, like, actually, Trevor, I actually used to do some of that work. Back in my day with the AIDS committee, we did outreach several times a week. So I really do know what it feels like to be on the front lines, like Rock and other groups like the Sandwich Guys and CK Free Help and Salvation Army. And, they're doing incredible work, and they're helping a population that is really hidden. And without, as you were saying, Patty, without those relationships, even, getting the help and receiving the help, it just wouldn't happen without people coming together. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it's a beautiful thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to thank you both again, and the partners at Maple City Homes, all of the guys out on the street. On the street doesn't sound right. You guys know what I mean. And to Rob in particular, because Rob is connected to our co-investor roundtable, which just to remind folks that the United Way sort of led a very strategic and collaborative approach at trying to meet the need here in Chatham-Kent, understanding that response and recovery from COVID is going to, it's going to take all of us to do it. It's bigger than any one of us. So we've got our partners include the municipality, of course, public health, and we've got federal and provincial money that gets funneled through United Way. We've got the Chatham-Kent Community Foundation on side with us. The Ridge Landfill Community Trust is with us. We've got other community partners in Tech Savvy, and just the list goes on. And so we're meeting weekly, and we have discussions on based on the needs discovery conversations that Steve and the team, I think you're involved in that too, Karen, that are happening on the Thursday morning. So we're just getting the temperature of what's happening out and about in the community, what the needs are, because we know that they're changing from week to week. And it was just, I know that all of us were sort of on a cloud after our very first meeting when the need came up, that the money that Maple City Homes and their extended family had collected and donated at the end of the year, that was anticipated to get the Rock crew and the Sandwich Guys and some of the others that do the same sort of work, was intended to get them through for the entire year of 2020. Along came COVID. And so here we are in April, and there was a need, and Rob was just, he didn't even hesitate. He just made the commitment. Trevor picked up the phone and reached out to all of those connections again, and the trades, and it's really amazing. It's we keep hearing about the miracle, May 16th miracle, and we know that's all relationship, and it's the community taking care of community, and it's amazing. It's lovely to be a part of that.
It is. It's lovely. So thanks, Trevor and Jeff, for taking time out of your very busy day, and thank you for continuing to care for our community, because as Patty said, it really does take a village, and we really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, CK, for joining in on this call. Please keep in touch with us. Visit ckgives.ca if you're looking for help, if you're looking to want to give help, so that means volunteering. And of course, we have a donate link. Join us Monday. We're going to be talking about the struggles that seniors may be facing in the face of COVID-19 and certainly how it's impacting the nonprofits that are serving that community. So, at the closing of, week 7 on shutdown and COVID-19, have a great weekend. Happy Friday. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and stay connected.